Sweet and Sour's not cooking with gas this time.
Yes, we are.
How?
Hydrogen gas.
No, liquefied hydrogen. And this is the Hyundai Nexo. Who's driving?
Again! Okay, in the Nexo hydrogen cell vehicle.
When was the first time you drove a hydrogen vehicle? Do you remember?
I remember. It was a Ford Focus, I believe.
I remember driving a Ford Edge.
Oh, no, this is before the Edge. Anyways, it was down at Ballard.
Yeah, Ballard Power. That's the thing, is a lot of people are not aware that one of the world leading areas for hydrogen fuel cell vehicles is here in the Vancouver area for Ballard fuel cells. But this is all Hyundai. They developed this system all on their own for this car.
That is impressive. But before we even get into the actual driving dynamics and what's powering this, let's talk about this car in general, the style of it. This is their Halo car, and yeah, it's getting a lot of looks, especially with this matte paint. It's a hot looking car.
So what are people buying? They're buying compact utilities, and this vehicle is absolutely perfect, the size that people want. So they nailed it.
This actually has more room than the latest Tucson, actually. So it's a good size, that's for sure.
Yeah, the back seat, we're going to check in a moment. The trunk is useful. Other than the fact that it says fuel cell on the outside, you'd have no idea that this wasn't just the newest, latest Hyundai SUV.
Hands down. And when you get inside here, you got
beautiful.
The latest of everything, the fit and finish, the quality materials, massive screens that you would normally find in future vehicles.
Looks like Mercedes MBUX system, right? Big 12.3-inch screen here, another screen behind the instrument cluster. But what do you think of this big command center here? It's like an aircraft.
I don't know. I like buttons, and this might be a little bit overboard.
Too buttony for you?
Yeah. I think so.
I have to say, though, that the blue, the polished aluminum, the sort of satin buttons, and the way it all comes together, it's got a bit of a nautical feel to it.
Yes, yeah, especially with the satin and the, I don't know what you call those.
The grills covers for the speakers.
Speaking of the screens, this is something very unusual. It'll take a little getting used to, but when you turn your signals on, let's go left. Look at this, left or right. It's like a virtual side view mirror, blind spot mirror, essentially.
You know, the first time I noticed that was in the new Kia Telluride.
Oh,
so
really?
obviously Kia and Hyundai have that in their new vehicles.
I haven't driven that.
Yeah, because remember the first time you had that was with the Civic. It's called Lane Watch.
Yes.
You turn the right one on and it would come on in the center.
Yeah.
This does both.
Yeah. And it's kind of shaped, it has the actual shape of a mirror in it.
Yeah, I mean, it's really good. And it's nice and clear, and it's just an extra layer to give you a view of what's going on around you. All right, do you want to talk about the hydrogen fuel cell system?
Sure.
Okay, so first of all, what's the advantage to this is range. So we recently did the Nissan Leaf Plus with 360 kilometers of range. How much range you get out of this?
Just blows out of the water. Almost 600 kilometers.
Yeah, almost 600 kilometers of range. How long does it take to charge on a level 2 charger, that Nissan Leaf?
Level 2 charger, depending on seeing voltage there, about 8 to 11 hours.
Right. How long does it take to fill this with hydrogen at the filling station?
5 minutes.
What are we used to doing when we go to a filling station to fill our cars? Filling it up, go in, get a bag of chips and a bottle of water or whatever, and drive down the road, and you've got 500 plus kilometers of range. It's exactly the same with this.
It's cool looking at this display. There's a battery, of course, but the hydrogen tanks. You see these hydrogen tanks here. We have different modes. There's an eco mode, but
I just want to explain how it works. So the way I want to explain this to everybody, this is an electric car. Okay?
Yes.
So instead of filling a battery full of electricity, you're filling a tank full of hydrogen, and then the hydrogen goes through a fuel cell, and when the hydrogen goes through the fuel cell, a small electric current is created, and that's where you get the electricity for this. It does have a battery, but it is much, much smaller.
Yeah,
and that's the other thing, it's way lighter, right?
Yeah. Now here's one thing. Does this qualify for any rebates?
Yes, it does.
It does?
Yeah, actually, I think it's $1,000 more for a hydrogen car than an electric car. So electric car, I think $5,000. This is $6,000.
Okay, let's see what this thing's got.
It's not setting the world on fire. 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in 10 seconds. 10 seconds is pretty pokey, but it's satisfying with the torque.
So let's get into, right now, the sweet and sour.
Okay. The biggest sour, without question, is the price. This thing is $78,000. I'm sorry, I don't know anybody that's spending $74,000 on brand new tech from Hyundai and a fuel cell. I just can't see it myself.
The sweet, though, is the range, and there is no range anxiety whatsoever.
Well, there is, because there's only one filling station where we live in Vancouver. There's only one filling station. So yeah, there is range anxiety. So yeah, you have to basically live in that range.
Well, here's another sour. It's 73 or 74,000.
Yeah, right around 74 grand, yeah.
But this car is actually worth a lot more money than that, because if you happen to get in an accident, imagine what it costs to replace or repair that fuel cell. Like your local parts store, I don't think they carry spare fuel cells.
No. Do you know what it costs to make this car? They're selling it at, even at $74,000, they're selling it at a massive loss. I was at a launch event they had in Vancouver, and the president of Hyundai Canada was there, and he said it costs around $250,000 to $275,000 to make this car. So they're selling it at a $200,000 loss.
So there's another sweet, though. So there's good value there.
You're buying a $275,000 supercar.
Yes.
For a fraction of the price.
Exactly.
I don't know. Obviously, they need to get them into the market. They're using them as kind of beta testers. They're obviously fulfilling them to people who live around the very limited filling infrastructure. The filling infrastructure is going to grow in places like California, near Honda's head office and Toyota's regional office. There are actually thousands of fuel cell vehicles on the road. We're not anywhere near that in Canada.
So do you think this makes more sense, a fuel cell vehicle over EV? In the whole grand scheme of things.
In the long run, in the big picture.
Yes.
I think that hydrogen is probably going to be the long run winner, because electricity, when it's being created, can't be stored. Once it goes out into the electric grid, it's gone. Now, you could argue that you can save it into a battery in a car, which is absolutely true, but you're not getting the same filling infrastructure and filling times you're getting with a hydrogen vehicle. So the electric infrastructure would be creating hydrogen overnight and then being able to charge and fill cars very quickly.
This could be another story just like VHS and Betamax, though. You know, one could be feasibly better, but the other one's going to win out, right?
Yeah. And I think in the mid-range, it's battery electric is going to be the clear winner. But in the long run, the reason why Hyundai is developing this, Toyota and Honda and others are developing this, because they do think that this is the future. So everything that you typically get in a car, 500-600 kilometers of range, you fill it up in 5 minutes, that will appeal to people.
So yeah, so if you want to have the latest and greatest, this is definitely it, and you live near the filling station, this could be a good option for you. Maybe you're a corporation. This is good for advertising, maybe.
Yeah.
Right?
Here's the thing: is one thing you have to. We haven't even talked about it yet. Hyundai, they have hybrid. They have plug-in hybrid. They have battery electric, and now they have fuel cell from Hyundai from Korea. Kudos to them. They're the first one to pull that one off.
Yeah, hands down. Yeah, great job, Hyundai.
All right, this is pretty comfy.
It actually, I think it reclines.
Yeah, it does recline.
My seat is pretty far back.
You can do forward and aft.
Oh, look at that, huh? Back and forth.
And the fuel cell is
there's two.
Yeah, there's two tanks, yeah.
And one underneath that.
Yeah, so there's three tanks, right?
But there's quite a bit of room for the cargo area, though.
You know what? I think that your point is well taken. They should just bring this car with gas, electric, hybrid, and fuel cell.
Why waste this whole design on just a vehicle that so few people will actually buy?
I know, it's really nice. I mean, I really do like the materials. I think it looks really good. It's got a bit of a, what's the word, Lincoln look.
Yeah, it does, yes.
Nautilus.
Yeah.
That's pretty nice. You know what, this is the right size. This is what people are looking for.
Heated rear seats. Nice armrest. There is it's a small little hump in the back. But yeah, room for someone in the middle.
Good enough for two dad bods.
All right, back to the drive. Okay, we got a Duramax beside us. Think we can take them?
Yeah, I think you can. Heavy duty Duramax. It's like a drag staging. You don't know when the light's going to change.
It's like a slow speed chase. Oh, you feel all that stuff go flying in the back. Woo! We took them.
You know what? I have to say, I've driven this car, as I mentioned at that event. It's a nice driving car. I think I actually, as just the way it drives, it's satisfying.
Which one would you pick? Honda, what is it?
The Clarity,
the Toyota Mirai, or this Nexo?
Is it your money or my money?
Well, let's just say they're all the same price.
If it's my money, none of the above. I'm sorry, I'm not ready for a hydrogen fuel. I'm not even ready to buy an electric car yet. So I just think
you have to buy one.
I have to buy one.
Yes.
I think this one looks the best. There's no question about it.
Yeah.
I mean, the Clarity is, it's been hit with the ugly stick, and so's the Mirai.
Yeah.
This one actually looks good, and it's an SUV, and that's what people want. There you go. There's your hydrogen version of sweet and sour. Sweet and sour. All right, there's a taste of sweet and sour. Get it? A taste of sweet and sour. If you want to subscribe to the channel where Brian and I will be doing more of these videos, the link is in the description below. Go over. The number one thing you need to do is subscribe so we can get our count up there for the subscriptions. Give it thumbs up because we need a certain number to be a legit channel.
Yeah.
So, we're going to be doing more of these. Brian and I have been doing this for 16 years plus, whatever.
Yeah.
And now we're just decided. It took us a while to finally come up with our own channel. So there you go. Go and subscribe. Thanks for watching.